Hello everyone, Ollie here from Dudes Talk Cinema, and I'm here with Dusty. And we are here today to watch, well, we're here for another new Out of the Cinema review, and we are watching Christopher Nolan's latest adaptation of The Odyssey. So before we get into our before thoughts, obviously, as we both know, and a lot of other Christopher Nolan fans, it's always an event whenever a new film of his come out, which is like every 3-4 years or so, depending on how long it takes him to produce it. So when it was announced that he was doing another historical-based film, I was intrigued to see what it was, and then it was announced it was The Odyssey. I was like, what is that? Because I'm not the best with my history, but I found out it was an epic poem, I think it is, by Homer, not Homer Simpson, the ancient Greek poet. Don't really know what else to really say other than, I think I'm going to go first with my before thoughts. So in our before thoughts, well, I was going to say, talk about our Christopher Nolan experiences, like briefly, like what we've watched of his films and, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down on them. And then we'll talk about our kind of brief thoughts on The Odyssey going into it. So, yeah, I'm going to go first, so take it away, me. Okay, my history with Christopher Nolan. I haven't seen every single one of them. I've seen almost all of them, apart from 3, which I'll get to. So, following his first film, Black and White, this was a film that he made every single day up for a year. So it took him a year, but he filmed bit by bit every day for this film. And it's a cool little first feature-length film. It's only just over an hour long, which is kind of, when you, in retrospect, to when you see most Christopher Nolan films lately are like 2.5 to 3 hour long films. So it's like, oh, cool. So very cool little independent first feature film for him. Memento, his second film, is also very good. Non-linear, well, following is also non-linear, but what was so significant about Memento is that a lot of people noticed it. The fact that Memento was made in a non-linear fashion, so black and white in colour sequences, kind of like Oppenheimer, which obviously he just recently did before The Odyssey. But yeah, that's a very good film as well. I think Insomnia is the next one. Memento was 2000, so yeah. Insomnia with Al Pacino and I can't remember her name, but the actress who plays Julie in the next Karate Kid, she's also in it. She plays like a police officer, I believe. It's been a while since I've seen that film. It's definitely Nolan's most underwatched and appreciated film he's done, so I recommend it. Next, I believe, is Batman Begins, I think. My favourite of his 3 Batman films, personally, might be Hot Take, I don't know, but, you know. The Prestige is next. That's the one of 3 films I haven't seen yet, where I'm hearing amazing things about that film. Apparently one of his best films he's made in his career. Next is, I believe it's The Dark Knight. Yeah, Dark Knight. It's a good film, little overrated. There's loads of Dark Knight fans that are just already like, you imbecile, kill yourself. But that's my opinion. I think it's a little overrated, but it's still a good film nonetheless. Inception, only seen it once. Well, a lot of Nolan films I've only seen once, but it's a good film, very ambitious, like a lot of his other films. Very bold choices, scopic, very good. Next, The Dark Knight Rises. It's good. Some say it's quite a weak end to the Dark Knight trilogy. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen The Dark Knight Rises, so I can't fully confirm that or not, even though I have seen it. But I remember liking The Dark Knight Rises. Interstellar is a very good and emotional Nolan film. Again, another one I haven't seen in a while, but it's very good. Dunkirk, haven't seen, heard good things, so that's one I need to watch. Tenet, I think, is next. And the third of three I haven't seen yet. But very ambitious, very mixed bag for people. Like, some love it, some are very weird about it. Oppenheimer. Now, me and Dusty have history with Oppenheimer because we watched Oppenheimer when it first came out in 2023 when that came out, and we watched it in IMAX. It was our first IMAX experience. Maybe Dusty will talk about it more when he talks about it, but it was certainly a liberating experience. It was great to have that experience, but it's one of those, it's a format that I'm not rushing to go back and see. Other than the initial, like, whoa, it's a lot bigger than it was in the pictures. Other than that, I mean, the sound, I remember, was just like, whoa, it's booming, like when the explosions were going off, all the loud noises and stuff. Great. Seats were comfy as well, from what I remember. Again, this is 3 years ago. And yeah, check out our review if you want to hear our initial thoughts on that film. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Christopher Nolan films that I've seen / haven't seen. Overall, I think he's a very talented filmmaker, and he's just one of those filmmakers that I heavily respect, because the one thing I know as well that I'll quickly mention before I pass over to Dusty, the fact that he doesn't use CGI very often. His limit of CGI, he doesn't hate CGI, but he prefers using practical over digital effects, which I of course commend, especially as someone who's in the big Hollywood industry, because a lot of Hollywood filmmakers nowadays just rely on heavy special effects, CGI, whatever. And I just think it's a little, he says I can't remember the word now, that's really annoying now, but he just likes the practicality, he likes a challenge, and yeah, I commend him for using practical over digital effects. And from what I've heard about this film, I won't get into detail because I don't know how much Dusty's seen of the advertisement stuff, but from what I've seen, it's like, whoa, how did he get away with all of this stuff? But we will see. I'll tell you my thoughts on the effects when we actually see the film. But yes, not really much to say coming into this film. I hope it's good, of course. Like every film I go watch. Good cast. Oh, one last thing, sorry. Almost forgot about it. There's another adaptation of the Odyssey that I have seen, not about a couple of years ago now, called The Return, and that tells the second half of the poem. And it stars Ralph Fiennes, who plays Odysseus, who Matt Damon plays in Chris Nolan's one. Yeah, as I said, it tells the second half of the story, which I know sounds a bit like, what about the first half? Well, I guess I think the budget was a lot smaller than this one, so they only had X amount to tell, but Chris Nolan's like, hold my beer. So, almost 3 hours. There's probably going to be things from The Return that Nolan has done here, that's probably from the poem. Don't know if it's going to be done more accurately. So we might talk about it more later, but yeah, I remember liking The Return. Good performances in that. So yeah, that's kind of my other experience with this story. So I have no experience reading the poem, only the only other one adaptations I've seen. So I hope it's good. So yeah, pass it on to Dusty.
Hello, I'm tired. My voice is tired. But let's crack on, shall we? So, the previous Christopher Nolan films I've seen, I've only seen a handful. That being my favourite one, Interstellar. I think that's a phenomenal 10 out of 10. And I don't put that lightly. The reviews on the channel is ancient now, but I still stand by it. It is an incredible film. Of course, I've seen the Batman trilogy. No, I see them more as Bruce Wayne trilogy. It's more about Bruce Wayne than it is Batman. And when he is Batman, he's like Batman for like a year. Yeah, so is the one with the little spinny top. with Leonardo DiCaprio in it.
Inception.
Inception, that's the one. That's a good one as well. Bit confusing, but solid film. Very emotionally grabbing film. But again, I haven't seen these films in yonks, so I don't know. I think that's it. Oh, Oppenheimer.
Well,
Oppenheimer and Tenet. So, Tenet I saw in cinemas for my 16th birthday 5 years ago. I remember my main issue with it was when I was watching it is that it'll be like, oh yeah, bang, 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 bang. I'm just like, what are you saying? Because all the sound, it wasn't audio mixed well. It wasn't great. Film was good though. I enjoyed it. A bit confusing, but as he says, don't try to understand it. Just try to feel it. Something like that.
My life is like a Christopher Nolan movie. I don't really understand what's going on. I'd say don't try to understand it, just feel it.
Oppenheimer, yeah, we watched Oppenheimer. IMAX screen, very big, very cool, but wouldn't rush to go see it again. You know, same with the film. You know, I think IMAX is great, and I've seen clips of this new Odyssey film where it's in IMAX, and I thought, oh, that would have been good, because I like the premise of this. I like my ancient Greek stuff, which we'll get to. But overall, the Oppenheimer film was well made, and that's about it. That's all I can say. It was well made. Went on far too long than it should have. And as Ollie said earlier, Christopher Nolan doesn't like CGI. So what he actually did is he went over to Japan and bombed them. You know, what you saw in the film. Oh, that was proper. He had to film that. Didn't get in trouble for it though. All in the. And he got knighted for it. He's Sir Christopher Nolan now. So, that's all the films I've seen. Solid films, all of them. We got 5 minutes, so it looks like I better crack on. Alright, so, the Odyssey. Now, my only interest comes from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is a great game, which I recently finished after 6 years, because I had like 72 hours into it, and I never finished it, because I was like, oh my days are so long! But it's a very good game. And in that game, you get to go through the Odyssey. You know, you get to go through that story, obviously an altered version of it. You got your Cyclops, your Spartans, and all your classics. And it's interesting. I like it. I like my ancient Greek stuff. Yeah. So, obviously for this film, Sir Christopher Nolan time travelled back in time. You know, he sent a D-mail back in the past and told him how to time travel with a microwave, and so he went back in time and he filmed this entire those aren't actors, those are real people from back in the day. He was just sneakily watching. But something I do want to say is that all the criticisms that I've seen for it, saying, oh, it's not historically accurate, that doesn't matter, because the original, whatever you want to call it, the original scripture for it, the original story of it, has been changed so much through word of mouth for thousands of years, you know, since it happened. So the original version, the actual page we have it supposedly written down, isn't even complete, you know. So, and also, he's got ancient Greek stuff in there, he's got Chinese things from there, not Christopher Nolan, the actual original story. So it's not a historically accurate story anyway, even from Homer himself. You know, he can eat all the donuts he wants, but you can't tell me it's historically accurate, because it's not accurate anyway.
No.
Yeah, so, it's not accurate, well, the original scripture isn't accurate, so take this finger.
I was just thinking that.
This finger. Yeah, but other than that, the practical effects of this film will go on and be really cool for many years to come. But otherwise, I am optimistic. This is my most anticipated film for ages, other than Mortal Kombat 2. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Other than hopefully it's a good. Because if it is a not, then that's 3 hours of my life I've wasted. I know I don't sound excited. I'm just mentally tired, and it's a hot day here in good old Cherno, so yeah. Anyway, roll the preview.
Get your weapons ready!
Okay, we are out. I'm going to try and be quick because I want to hear Dusty's thoughts, and Dusty has to head off in a little bit quite soon. So, my thoughts, I did like it. I mean, I think the best things about it, again, trying to be quick, positives, acting is pretty damn good. Matt Damon's great as Odysseus. Tom Holland, surprisingly, as Telemachus. And Anne Hathaway's Penelope. I can't remember the other names of the actors, but I think the other people as well did good. The practical effects are pretty good, like the 40 or I can't remember what number, 40 or 60 feet puppets, the Cyclops. They are real puppets.
The Cyclops was a puppet?
Yeah, they are real. They were real puppets. Yeah. I didn't want to tell you earlier because I didn't want to ruin the illusion or whatever, and you might be like, "Oh, is that?" You might have seen a CGI, but anyway, all the practical stuff, not just the creatures, but the sets. Obviously, almost everything was on location, like Greece, Scotland. Can't remember the other ones I saw in the credits, but so much. So great practical locations, effects, all that stuff. I thought the music mostly was good. There are a couple of I think the there were a couple of tracks that are a bit alright, but most of it was pretty good and fitted the film. I will say, if I'm being honest, I mean, it wasn't as much as Oppenheimer, because Oppenheimer was a more slow-paced, there's really no action in that film. But this, there were a couple of times, and to be honest, it's probably not the film's fault, it's probably my fault. It's probably not, mostly a personal thing, because I don't really watch films near 3 hours long. So, that being said, I was a bit like, kind of coming out of the film a bit, just because I'm not used to sitting watching a film for between 2.5 3 hours. So again, probably a personal thing, not really the film's fault, but that's just the experience, if I have to be honest. Oh yeah, I forgot about Rob Pattinson as the villain. I've forgotten his name already. I'm terrible with names. I only remember the main ones. But he was a good villain as well. There's very few villains that he ever plays, and I thought he did good here. Trying to think of other bits and bobs. I think I mostly brought up all the main points, really. I can't think of anything else, really.
What about overall thoughts? You didn't say that.
Overall thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, as I said, I think I liked it. I did like it overall. If I really need to, I'll record my other bits that I can remember. So
negatives?
Negative. Yeah, no, I was sort of trying to think of other than, it's not really a negative, it's more of a mix that my experience is kind of tarnished because I'm not used to watching 3 hour-ish films. So, apart from that, I feel like there might have been another thing, but I might have to record it when I can, but without wasting any more time. What would I give it? I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, that's a 4 star, so yeah, 8 out of 10, 4 star. Pass on to Dusty, because he needs to get going.
Well, so we just got out. Obviously, why am I saying that? You've already anyway. Sorry. Okay. Overall, big thumbs up. I'm gonna dive right in. I think this is his best film. I think it's very close with Interstellar. I think it's between those two, but I think just because I like my history a bit more, I like the Odyssey a lot. So I really, really, really enjoyed this. Now, obviously, Ollie said he, not used to 3-hour films, but I was the champion for sitting on my bum all day during lockdown 2020. I would watch 26 episode animes in one sitting, and I would do them 3 times over because there was nothing else to do. So when it came to watching films in the cinema, the longer the films have gotten, I have no issue with that. So, as you said, that's a personal thing. But for me, as long as the film's good and it doesn't bore me, I'll happily sit through a 4-hour film. This isn't 4 hours, but it doesn't feel like 3 hours either. Like it felt like a long film, but not like a, come on, that sort of film. But yeah, so the goods. I mean, all the practical stuff looked real, incredibly well done.
Because it was real.
Yeah, because obviously, as we know, Sir Christopher Nolan had a time machine. He went back and just filmed all this. No, but yeah, like the Cyclops he mentioned. I just thought that was just like a, that old trick of filming a big guy, just an actor, and then filming like a miniature, kind of like what they did in Night in the Museum. Yeah, so I thought that was just a dude. A well-made one, incredibly well, very good, incredible. And then there was, I thought I knew my Greek stuff, but clearly I don't, because there were these big guys in silver, and I was like, I have no idea what they are. I don't know. And then also a witch as well. So I'm sure they're obviously things from Greek mythology, but I don't know. I thought maybe they were giant. I don't know. Anyway, but I loved the journey, the Odyssey. I thought that was fantastic. I didn't quite like how it wasn't entirely in chronological order. I mean, I liked how sometimes he was saying the story and you'd get the story, because I think sometimes it, especially when we saw the Battle of Troy, when we finally got to see the Battle of Troy, because I wanted that throughout the entire film. I was just like, you don't tease us with a little bit, I want to see the Battle of Troy. So we saw the Battle of Troy, but when he showed it us, it was like, it hit then. But sometimes I just feel like if you just showed it in relatively more chronologically, makes for a more moving,
digestible experience.
Yeah, because there's a few times where I was like, Sometimes it works, as I said with the Battle of Troy. I thought, finally we get it. But again, sometimes I think, well, if we just saw the Battle of Troy and then when it gets to him talking about it, just cut back to those clips. I think sometimes that could work. But again, once you get it on 4K, it's in the hands of the people. You can edit it yourself and make your own ones. How long have I been yapping for?
4 minutes.
Oh, a bit longer. Oh, yeah. I'll try and wrap it up now. One issue other than what I've said, which is like the mixy and chronologically, Travis Scott. I don't know if you noticed him, but I knew the voice immediately, and I saw him immediately. It's the first voice you hear and see. That is Travis Scott, the rapper. He did a big Fortnite event. Anyway, that's why I know his voice. But anyway, he's the one at the start who's like, oh, bah. Anyway, it was alright, but in the credits, they had a song by Travis Scott, and I thought, that music choice is a bit weird because it's a modern song.
That's one of the things I was saying.
Yeah.
I was like, I know it's the credit,
yeah,
but it's still like...
That was Travis Scott, and while I think I enjoyed it, it doesn't quite tonally fit. Yeah. So it's a bit off, but... I was not fussed, but it's like a bit of an odd choice. Otherwise, again, the music as well. The music, I know people were angry because Christopher Nolan said, we're not doing an orchestra. I remember people being like really angry about that. And then he said, we're using instruments from that time. So, and I really like that because it gives it its own feel. Instead of hearing like the dun dun, something like that, it's flutes and instruments from that time, which makes it better. And again, as Ollie pointed out in the credits, the flute sounds a lot like Uncharted 1, which funny enough, I bought today. Obviously, Sony physical pain in the bum. Anyway, not on topic. So we're going to wrap it up now. Highly recommend this film. Incredibly good. Definitely worth the time. Absolutely buy this on 4K. That remind me. We actually saw the IMAX version. Yeah, we saw the IMAX version. Because in America, they're showing, obviously, the IMAX version in IMAX theaters. But they're showing a letterbox cut one in every other cinema in that country. But here, I noticed, I was like, wait a minute. The screen's full. And the shots where they showed for like, oh, here's the American experience, here's the IMAX experience. Like the Trojan horse at the end, top half of it is like cut off because of the letterbox. So we actually saw the IMAX version without having to go to IMAX, and that's great. So, yeah, 9 out of 10. Again, I think it's chronological issues and Travis Scott and the credit, but other than that, 9.5 out of 10. Maybe I'll say it's a masterpiece, but I think because sometimes, the audio as well, sometimes I was like, ha.
Yeah.
And especially if they're using like long Greek names, I was like, ha. So I think that goes it down to 9.5, which is 4.5 stars. Namaste.
Yeah, quickly, something that Dusty brought up. Yeah, some of the audio was a bit like muffled. What were you saying, Blood?
It was more near the start of the film. I noticed it during like the crowd. Basically at the start, at the banquet. That's what it was. And I thought, I couldn't quite understand, but also at the same time, they filmed with IMAX cameras, which are incredibly loud if you haven't seen or known. I know they used a dampener, but I'm sure that still make it, you'd still hear it. So I'm sure, obviously, a lot of the dialogue was in post. I don't know, but it was just the start of the film in the banquet where I was like, other than that, yeah. Well, that's what I know. Doesn't mean I'm right, but yeah.
Alright, so yeah.
Go watch the film. It was really good anyway.
But yeah, I think that's it. So, if you guys had a chance to watch the Odyssey yet, obviously this is, well, as we're recording, this is actually the first day it comes out in the UK at least. Probably in the US as well and other countries, but if you've somehow managed to watch it yourself, let us know in the comments what you thought of it, if you liked it, didn't like it, all that jazz. And yeah.
Support physical media. Buy DVDs, buy Blu-rays, buy 4Ks, buy games. Please.
Yes. So yeah, on that note,
Au revoir, ta-ta, bye.
goodbye.